What's up, my good people? How y'all doing out there? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha, right here in the hair salon, chilling, coming to you live and direct to talk to you about something very, very simple, but common. It's a common topic that comes up all the time, and the question is, combs. I get so many questions about what type of comb, what comb is best for my hair, what should I be using to comb my hair with. A lot of people are having some very bad experiences with combs. A lot of people are spending a whole lot of money on combs, and at the end of the day, they're really not comfortable with the results. So what I've decided to do was to take a few minutes to break down all the different combs that are available and then their purposes, and that's going to help you understand what combs are for and why. So first, let me give you a history about combs. Now, combs are featured in my book, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon. I'm going to put that information in the link, and so you're going to be able to read and go into it more in detail when you read the book. But today, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis about the history of combs. So here's what they don't tell you at the hair salon about combs. Number one, combs are as old as almost the earth itself, okay? Combs have been around before Jesus Christ. I know. You're like, girl, you lie. No, I'm not, okay? Combs predate Jesus Christ. They have been around for a very long time. And so the best way to authenticate this statement is to merely just go to any archaeological, website, or if you want, you can hop on over to Google Scholar and check out some archaeologists who have written papers and done research, dissertations, everything about combs. It will knock your socks off. Or you can buy my book, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon. So combs are very old. That's number one. Number two, the purpose of a comb is to actually cleanse the scalp and remove the debris of the hair. And then number three is going to style. So combs have a threefold purpose. Again, remove the debris, exfoliate the scalp. It's going to also thatch or remove the shedded hair from the head. And then last but not least, a comb can style your hair. I feel like I'm about to do some yoga. Style your hair, okay? Now, in order to do these things, you've got to understand that combs have different functions. There are different types of combs to help do different things. So what I'm going to do is break down all the combs that are available in this salon and how we use them, okay? And then what I want you to do is to hit that thumbs up if you find this information helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? And then you can hit that little bell so when I break down or upload rather some new information, guess what? You'll be able to get that, okay? All right, okay, so let's start off with, I'm just gonna grab some combs at random. Let me just kind of swing my little camera over here so I can reach the combs. All right. So let's start off with the most common combs that people talk about all the time are these detangling combs, okay? Now, detangling combs have a very interesting, backdrop, all right? So now, remember, this stuff is all, a Ladosha theory. And so theories are like cell phones. Everybody's got one, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't gonna cuss. I was not gonna cuss, okay? Not this time. So, so this is like a little theory, a little guess. So, here in America, so if you're watching us from another country, this may not apply. Maybe not. But here in America, we have what's called like a caste system of like good and bad when it comes to hair. And that has its roots in slavery. And so we know for a fact that in slavery, black people were taught that they had bad hair, number one. Number two, they couldn't wash it because, we had to, our ancestors had to do what they had to do. And then number three, we didn't have access to combs and hair care products. You can go and visit, I'll put his video in the link. Dr. Willie Morrow did a movie called 400 Years Without a Comb. I encourage everyone to watch. As a matter of fact, the whole family needs to watch that, okay? 400 Years Without a Comb. And so we know that in that process, as we began to, we were freed, and then we had to, go through the Black Code, and then Jim Crow, and then here we are, 400 years later, in 2019, they finally, here in the United States, made it a federal, it's against the law, pretty much, to discriminate against people with hair. But what happened in the process is the misinformation of textured hair. Now, when you think of textured hair, depending on where you're from, you're thinking of something like nice and whirly and light and, like a Mariah Carey. But where I'm from, we're thinking LeVar Burton, Kunta Kinte, just to get a visual. So textured hair, depending on your culture, has different meanings. So in the beginning in the United States, textured hair has always been something you get a visceral response, like, ew, that nappy nigga, it's kinky. All these bad woolen, difficult to manage. So these are very bad words, and that visceral response you get on textured hair in the United States. Now we've moved along and we're getting more into the natural hair community movement, which I think that's a farce, but hey, it could happen, okay? So what we have now are tools that are what I call they stuff. Okay, so when you look at the history of our stuff, meaning people with textured hair, you get a different historical backdrop using archaeology, okay, not lookership, but scholarship. Now, archaeology can be Ladosha, they really wasn't all out of archaeology either. That's true, but today it's getting better. Let's just say that. In the beginning, archaeology was not, we ain't gonna go there, because we know Carlos von Linnaeus and Johann Blumenbach, they started this crap in the first place when they were commissioned by slave owners to classify humans. And in America, we took that classification and we began this caste system, which is where I'm at in the conversation. And so now we have this very, very bad caste system, that we are coming out of, using the wrong tools. And the wrong tools are created by people who are not on the pulse of the people they are trying to sell things to. I'm gonna say it again. We have a community or a group of people who have made stuff, tools that they are not on the pulse of the people they're trying to sell it to. Okay, so I'm not knocking Widad, and I'm not knocking the maker of this comb. It doesn't have a manufacturer on it. So I'm not knocking these people. But what we do see is that it's being promoted as a tool that can be used for Afro textured hair. We also see it as a tool, these tools that can be used for textured hair without the fro. So I'm using these two visuals of a Mariah Carey textured hair, and then you have a LeVar Burton textured hair. So neither of these tools should be used on either texture, but we do see that. And the reason being is because your hair has multiple skin layers, okay? And so multiple cuticle layers, And the cuticle layers have there are three protein layers. Let me get that, I'm backing up, okay? Each strand of hair has 3 protein layers, okay? The outer layer is your cuticle layer. And so this comb is not very user-friendly for the cuticle layer unless the hair is straight. So sometimes people make these combs and they don't break down, they don't take into consideration the anatomy or the physiology or the physical structure of the different strands of hair. So strands of hair has 3 protein layers. So I would be interested to see what these companies have to say about their comb being keratin layer friendly. How's that? So I don't think these combs are keratin layer friendly when it comes to people who have afro textured hair with their wavy, curly, or coily hair, okay? Reason being the teeth are too wide. So these are Wright combs, and so this one has these different lengths that's supposed to kind of help with the recoil, but the problem with this is that it's cheap, you see? So if you have really afro hair, you see what's happening? Look at that. No, and that's not a whole lot of force, you see that? So this is not going to work. So if you have LeVar Burton hair, I want to see it happen, okay? So no cigar chief. If you have LeVar Burton hair, help me get out, let me get out of here, okay? So this is not going to work. So if you have straight hair or less texture, bingo, is going to work. So these are called Wright combs because they're going to rake over the situation, okay? You can also style your hair with these. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo, okay? So these are Wright combs. All right, next up, let's go to the actual Wright combs. Now, Wright combs come in so many different kinds. You have short ones, long ones, wide ones, thin ones. So Wright combs are about texturizing and styling hair. So I see a lot of people using these combs as comb out combs. These are not what these combs were created for. They can be multifaceted to comb out hair depending on what? You got it. How much texture you have. So if you got LeVar Burton, Mariah Carey, no can do. If it's a little bit softer all the way to straight, you can comb out, I should say comb. I don't know about detangling because the teeth are too wide. So here's my analogy. You ready for this? A comb is to your hair what a broom is to the floor, what a toothbrush is to your teeth. Can you picture that? Can you rake your teeth? Can you rake your floor? No, you brush your teeth and you sweep your floor. Why? Because the bristles are closer together to collect the debris, and that's the purpose of the comb. Remember, 3 prongs. Number 1, exfoliate, cleanse the scalp. Number 2, thatch and remove hair that's shedded. And then number 3, style. So these are what we would call styling combs. So here you are. It's got the little pick on the end. You see that? You get your. So if you don't want to disturb your style, the pick can go in and lift it up, and then you have the rake to create your texture, and then it has a little tail on the end to tease. You see how that works? So that's what these combs are about. You should not be using these to detangle hair by any stretch of the imagination. We're talking about licensed, trained, certified, professional cosmetologists. You have to really look out for people who are passionate about what they're doing. I know this can be very difficult because, you know, in the beauty industry, like I said, theories and opinions are like cell phones. Everyone has one. But you have to find the person who resonates with what you are looking for with your hair. And most people, you're talking about honesty. So some people are using these out of necessity because it's what was around. So I have no offense, I just grabbed it. No, stay ready. Ain't got to get ready. Get your station ready. Be ready for your people, okay? Doctors don't use butter knives because the scalpel wasn't available. Okay, so you've got to stay ready. So that is not what these combs are for. These are called Wright combs or styling combs, okay? Next up, we actually have a teasing comb. So this have little, if you can see in between there, there's like another little layer of that where the comb just kind of has some stoppage there to back comb, and so it's specifically made for teasing. And so what you're going to do is comb the hair, and you do what we call, you're going to over direct it, and you literally tease the hair. And you tease it, and you're going to create a base to create volume. You see that? And then you just kind of comb over it. Think Pamela Anderson, Jennifer Aniston. So this is how they get that, the pompadours and all the stuff from the 60s. They would tease the hair, think hairspray. So teasing, and then you layer the hair over it. So that is what this comb is for, and that technique is called French lacing. This falls under hair coiffeuring. Not a lot of cosmetology schools are doing hair dressing, particularly here in the States. If you are watching me from London, welcome, Jolly Old Chop. So London, they do lots of hairdressing. In Europe, but in the States, not too much hairdressing unless you are in Hollywood, okay? So again, the French lace or back combing, you're literally going to create this lace. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't the hair like jacked up? No, because this creates a little pattern. And if you see when you comb it, look at that. It literally just slides right out, and you don't have a lot of hair, just a couple of bit, okay? So that's very safe for the hair. That is a technique, by the way. You have to be trained to how to actually do teasing or French lacing. But if you are a hairdresser, a hairstylist, you might be very familiar. Then it has a pick on the end where, again, you can kind of just, kind of lift and not disturb your actual, teased section, okay? So this is called a teasing comb with a pick, or we call that French lacing, okay? It's very safe. Next up, you have your rat tail combs, and you guys always hear me talk about my favorite rat tail comb, which is the Carbon Comb by H2 Pro. You can visit Blackhair with a K, blackhair.com to purchase these, or they have Goldilocks, your traditional plastic rat tail combs. I like the carbon ones. My colleague, Dr. Spritz, he introduced me to the carbon rat tail comb. So big ups, Dr. Spritz. You can find him over at Serpoo's Salon, in Maple Heights if you are here in Cleveland. So check out Dr. Spritz and my friends and Mr. Serpoo himself. These brothers can throw down on some hairstyling. So check them out if you are in the greater Cleveland, Akron, Columbus. Y'all can drive on up and check us out, okay? So again, you have your carbon rat tail comb, or you have your classic plastic ones. I like these because we're doing a lot of silk pressing. Carbon combs are heat resistant, and check this out, they will get rid of static. Yes, that's right. Okay, so you have this kind of comb. These rat tail combs are great for chemical applications, also slicing the hair when you want to flat iron it or curl it. That's what these are for. So these help at the beginning of a hairstyle, finger waving, all types of styles, lifting to do pencil curls. So these are absolutely the bomb, okay? I forgot to bring my tapering comb. Oh, shoot. So let me go get that. I'll be right back. I think I have one. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Okay, I am back. Next up, we have our tapering comb. So tapering combs are just that. So tapering combs are for, creating nice tapers if you want this to be really close and come out, hence the 45-degree angle. Barbers use them, cosmetologists use them to literally taper hair. Also, they are used for your flat comb, your coil twist, or just coiling hair, because the tip, you can grip the hair and just slide down. They're a little flimsy because you're going to be styling hair and also to grip the hair. So some of them can be stronger, but most of them have a tendency to be very pliable or flimsy, and that is by design. So that's okay if you're buying them and they're not as stiff as some of the other combs. They can be made out of plastic or rubber, but these are your good old-fashioned taper combs, okay? Next up, you have your all-purpose. I had a little hair there. You have your all-purpose comb. So all-purpose comb means just that. Most professionals are using these for finger waves, haircuts, combing out hair, wrapping hair. So we give these away for free because for all of our customers that we do silk press and roller sets and roller wraps on, these are used at night to help wrap the hair. They are all-purpose comb. Of course, they're not for locks and anything that's a hard set like your spiral sets and your rod sets. So no, you're not going to comb those hairstyles out. But all combable styles, you can use an all-purpose. The best on the market is these are called 420 by Cleopatra, mostly for licensed professionals. Sorry, I'm like, damn, Ladosha. But it is what it is. So you can check. I think they might have them on Amazon. So I will look and see. But again, if you're a licensed professional, you can get these for your customers. We give them away, but if you want to buy them by the dozen, we sell them for $1 a pop. So that's $12 plus tax. But if you're here in Cleveland, they're free, okay? Whoops. Okay, so now we have your all-purpose comb. Next up, we have your cutting comb. So these combs are used to lift the hair and take the clippers and cut them. So barbers or hairstylists will put them on top, take the clippers or the shears and cut the hair. So very flimsy, not for combing out hair. And notice how flat it is. It's strictly to go flat up against the hair, comb the afro or the texture up, and literally go across. So these are your cutting combs. This is a generic one. A lot of people make them. It has little ridges in them to grip the hair, and the little design is so it can be dry so you don't get so much slip. So a lot of companies make these, and again, these are called your hair cutting combs, okay? All right, then next up, you have the good old-fashioned comb out combs, okay? These are old school comb out combs. Now these can be made in many forms: rubber, plastic, wooden, turquoise, so which would be really expensive. So of course, the better quality, the more they are going to cost, all right? So be careful with the wooden combs because sometimes they can buckle, but if they're shellacked properly, then they'll become wooden. Be careful with combs that do this because these will rip and tear the hair. Ace makes the best all-purpose. We used to call them Afro combs back in the day. So whichever makes you feel comfortable, all-purpose combs, comb out combs. And so this one is by Goody, and then you have one here. So this one is not really, again, for, you remember you got your LeVar Burton / Kunta Kinte, or you have your Mariah Carey. So be careful because you see what happens. Certain hair textures can really do some interesting things to the teeth of combs, but you want to get a really good sturdy. Rubber is probably the best. Your rubber, your little galvanized, more sturdier rubber, okay? Again, they come in wooden, tortoise, so different, materials manufacturers make these combs out of. So again, you have your comb out combs. Just be careful and watch out for the ones that are flimsy. If your comb gets like this, please throw it away. Do not keep these combs and don't pass them down. You can give them to your little kid to play on the Barbie doll head. No problem. Don't comb the dog's hair because if it hurts your hair, it's going to hurt the dog too. So don't even use these on your animals. Just let the kids play with them or throw them in the garbage if this happens, okay? Do not keep this comb, all right? And then last but not least, you have my favorite. It's called the Wright comb or your long tooth Wright comb. Now this is a brand of Rev Air, okay? So they are made by other manufacturers. So of course I'm going to promote the one that's made by my Rev Air family, and I'll put that in the link. And the benefit of that, again, number one is what it's made out of. very, very sturdy plastic, okay? The teeth, as you can see, got a little movement so it's not so stiff. You can get through the hair. The long teeth, LeVar Burton, Kunta Kinte, and Mariah Carey, and everybody in between, okay? So this is gonna work great for kids, great for tender-headed people. Remember, it's all about the technique. I have a lot of videos on this channel that you can look on about the technique of how to use the comb. And then, of course, you have the ergonomics. The head is round, so it's gonna help you get through the hair without hurting your wrist. Mamas, daddies, y'all know how hard it can be when you're trying to comb afro hair and the teeth are straight like this, okay? This ain't gonna work, okay? So this is more effective at what? Exfoliating the scalp and thatching or removing hair that has shedded, and as well as just overall detangling the hair. So this is pretty good. So I would definitely recommend my very own Wright comb, and this is by Rev Air, okay? All right, so there you have it. That's everything you need to know about combs. I hope you have found this video very, very helpful. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you'll know when I've uploaded a video. Thank you so very much for your support. Peace, love, and hair. And if you ain't got no hair, don't want no hair, can't stand hair, can't grow no hair. As a matter of fact, you plan on cutting your hair off in 2021? Don't worry about it. Just rub your beautiful, beautiful bald head, okay? Bye. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.